fan. Ever since Viz was publishing the manga in 2003, the very first issue of Shonen Jump, I've been following the story of One Piece for the better part of my life. I firmly believe that if it wasn't for 4Kids' infamously terrible English dub, One Piece could have had the potential to be just as popular as Naruto or later Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia here in the West. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out that way, and as a result, it took a long time for One Piece to find a proper audience in the US, and compared to those shows, it's still considered relatively niche and inaccessible. But I've been watching One Piece for the better part of a decade now, ever since Funimation picked up the rights to simulcast the series, and as a result, I've seen roughly almost 900 episodes of the anime series. Last year was the One Piece anime's 20th anniversary, and to celebrate, Toei Animation released the 14th installment in the film franchise, One Piece Stampede. With an original story concept by Eiichiro Oda himself, One Piece Stampede has followed the same trajectory of the past few One Piece films in being major event pictures as opposed to annual, forgettable Shonen Jump movie adaptations. I'm not even going to try to get into a plot synopsis of One Piece here, because doing so would be a video series in its own right. So instead, I'm just going to give a slight glazing over of the plot summary of this installment. Though the film isn't canon, the best time to watch it is after the Whole Cake Island arc. The Straw Hat Pirates, as well as hundreds of pirate crews from around the world, are invited to a grand pirate festival, which was last held 20 years ago. The main event of the festival is a treasure hunt to track down the last treasure of Gold D. Roger, with some rumors indicating that it might be One Piece itself. However, the Straw Hats, as well as a handful of familiar Navy spies, discovered that the entire festival is a setup orchestrated to erase the pirate era and begin a new era in world history. It's a pretty basic storyline. It's nothing too extraordinary, but really the whole movie is just an excuse for fan service. And as a One Piece fan, I felt very serviced. The film is brimming with Easter eggs that longtime fans of the series will catch almost immediately, including the blink and you missed it cameos from minor characters in the show's history. Almost every major character in the series has a role to play here, which is a bit of an issue because the cast of One Piece is so large that a lot of the main characters of the story kind of get sidelined. But there is a ton of detail put into virtually every frame of this movie, not just in the Easter eggs, but also in the animation itself. The environments look incredible, the character designs are great, the action scenes are wonderfully drawn and well choreographed. I'm willing to say that this is the best looking One Piece movie we've had to date. Toei made the right call to make these films event pictures. They did the same thing with Dragon Ball Z a few years ago, and it's those films that helped to relaunch that franchise. A lot of fan favorite characters have a time to shine here, including some guest characters that you wouldn't have expected to pop up in this movie. In fact, a few of these characters are making their first post-time skip appearance in this film, in animated form, so for fans of the anime, it's a treat to see them for the first time after several years. Now, I'll admit, as a One Piece fan, I am biased, so a lot of the fan service did make me kinda blind to the film's general faults, but there are a few things that stuck out that I do want to address. First off, and really the film's major sticking point, is its pacing. The film has it's very unevenly paced. The entire first act of the film is very rushed. When the Straw Hats arrive at the Pirate Festival, all of the fun activities and a lot of the festivities that they attend are relegated to an opening credits montage. And that's some stuff I would have liked to have seen fleshed out more. I love watching the Straw Hats having fun, but seeing these little moments get only a few frames of screen time was a little disappointing, because this movie is definitely in a rush to get to the action. But when the movie does finally get to the action, roughly 20 to 25 minutes in, that's it. The rest of the movie is just fight scenes. The last hour or so is one big battle. If you're a fan of Shonen Jump action, like I certainly am, it's not a terrible thing, but it can be a little exhausting after a while if the movie is just 95% action. You kind of want to mix it up a little bit. Also, for a movie that was clearly dedicated towards fans, it does throw in some unnecessary exposition to explain terminology that fans would understand and casual audiences won't. Like, they explain what a buster call is, they explain characters' alliances, other events like that. It's stuff that is really unnecessary if you've been following the One Piece story for a long time. And I don't know, it feels like the movie's a little bit at odds of itself because it wants to try and court new fans, but 80% of the film is completely inaccessible because it doesn't try to explain character arcs, it doesn't try to go into detail about past events, it doesn't explain any of the characters' powers. And a lot of the fan service that you see in the movie ring hollow if you're not a fan of the series at all. So it feels a little weird to have these lines of dialogue that are made just for exposition to new audiences who probably aren't even going to watch this film anyways. Finally, I did have a little issue with the film's non-canon placement. The thing I really liked about Strong World and Z, the first two films that Oda was involved with, you could theoretically place them within the canon of the series, so it gave those films a little bit more of a consequential clout to them, that these events could theoretically impact the world of One Piece. Maybe not Strong World so much, but definitely Z. Stampede has the same issue that Gold has, where because of the way the story has flowed post time skip and where we are currently in the storyline and who's on the crew or what character is doing what, the story cannot happen in the canon. As a result, you just know from the beginning that what you're watching is an inconsequential side story where everything will end and the status quo is back to normal, even though these are events that should be reshaping the entire One Piece world. Because of its non-canon status, we just know that this is just never going to be acknowledged in the series. It's the Shonen Jump formula, but still, I mean, if the Dragon Ball Z movies could start becoming canon, then I would like the One Piece movies to try and make a little bit more of an effort too. But really, those are minor gripes. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. I was smiling through most of it. A lot of the fan service beats really got on my skin. We Are always brings the smile to my face every time I hear it. Hearing it in concert in person is still one of my favorite con-going memories from Hiroshi Kitadani himself. I mean, what else can I say? One Piece just continues to be a source of a lot of joy for me, and I'm excited to see the franchise continuing to go for the next 5 to 6 to 7 years, or however long it will be. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and give One Piece Stampede an 8 out of 10. It's a love letter to the fandom. It's gorgeously animated. I just had so much fun watching it, and that blinded me to a lot of the issues, but it does suffer from some really wonky pacing, unnecessary exposition, and at the end of the day, the whole thing's inconsequential, but who cares? It's a One Piece movie. You're either in it or you're not, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So, thank you guys for watching. Just so you know, One Piece Stampede is available on Funimation now to all subscribers for I believe the next month or so. This sort of means to coax in new subscribers during this whole pandemic thing. I don't even think One Piece Stampede is available on home video yet here in the United States, so it's really a huge deal that Toei allowed Funimation to do this at all, because they are infamously strict about the way that their movies and TV shows are streamed. So if you're a One Piece fan, then please support it on Funimation now. Let's try and get some more of these movies on there at a quicker timetable, because these films do have limited theatrical releases, and not everyone gets to see them. I didn't get to see One Piece Stampede in theaters, which is a real shame, because I would have loved to have seen some of those moments in a crowd of longtime One Piece fans like myself. Watching it alone was still fun, but there's something about the community experience of being in a group of like-minded anime fans that is just really, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's just fun. It's a good time. I want to go ahead and address what's been going on lately. I'm sorry that content on this channel has been sparse over the last few weeks, especially over the last week. My energies and time have been devoted to other efforts because of everything that's been going on with the protests. I've been wanting to express my voice and do what I can to help out my friends and people I don't even know who have to deal with all of this hatred that we see in the world. And as a result, I've completely paused editing anime. I'll get back to it in due time, but for now, I want to focus my efforts and my energy into something a lot more consequential than a YouTube video series. So I hope y'all understand, but this is really important to me, and I promise I will be putting out more content eventually. I just really want to, I want to focus on this right now. Yeah, so once again, thank you for your time. I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you're One Piece fans, yeah, rise up. And yeah, take care, enjoy some movies. As always, stay healthy, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And Black Lives Matter. Take care. Bye.